Um, just be locked in. Uh, I think maybe either it's a coin flip between them and Denver. They're one of the best teams in the league, especially in transition. Um, so we have to be more locked in and have a next play mentality and get back, especially when you're playing a team like that.
Noted how physical that Memphis team can be before the game. What did you feel like they did really well against you guys today?
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't really shoot the ball well. We're integrating guys back into the lineup. We have guys out. There's growing pains there, but no excuse. Credit to them. They are extremely physical on the defensive end, and they made us pay out in transition when we miss shots.
Chris, you were finding your stroke tonight. What did it feel like to see the ball go in a few times, and how do you feel like you did out there in this one?
Feels good, man. I needed it. I needed to see the ball goes in. Big thank you to TJ who's been on my side, and my teammates and the coaches. They've been supporting me. But especially this guy right here. Who's been on my side, he's telling me to keep going. Stuff like that happen one point in your career. So seeing the ball goes in, for me, it's great. Feel like I find some rhythm out there, thanks to TJ and my teammates, who helped with that.
I guess, Chris, to keep going on that, I mean, did the three you hit last night kind of bleed into today? I mean, we saw the reaction that you had after you knocked the three down last night. Did you start to sort of feel, I guess, just start to feel that coming last night, and did that kind of bleed over into today?
For sure. I mean, I knew it was coming. I knew it was close. I kept saying to myself, it's coming. It's close. I'm gonna have a breakout, and I'm gonna get over this. But again, thanks to this guy right here, who's been on my side, I appreciate that a lot from him, and I tell him that every day, every time I see him, I say thank you, because he's been a big part of, my support, like big bro, so appreciate that.
I guess just TJ on that. I mean, how important is it for him to get going, especially you just basically now that you guys are shorthanded, he's going to have to play a lot of minutes. You're going to have to get some points from him. How big is it to see him find his rhythm now?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people forget that he was out at least a month. It's not as simple as just getting thrown back into the lineup and going to produce like you did. It takes time, and he was patient and in the gym and staying positive. And you're not going to see a guy that works harder than this guy. He deserved a game like this tonight, and he's a huge part of what we do. And when he plays well, we're such a better team, and he's such a big part of this team. So I'm very happy for him with the performance he had tonight, because he's capable of doing it every single night.
What were some things you tried to do just to remind him of that while he was going through that?
Yeah, I mean, throughout an NBA season, there's 82 games. There's going to be stretches where you don't shoot the ball well, and you're just not playing well. It's about, the next play and just staying positive, because if you don't, bad games can start stacking to bad games. And he was so positive, but that just is who he is. He's such a good person. He's a great teammate, and he wants to see his teammates succeed. He didn't hang his head. He stayed in the gym. That's the consummate professional. So, like I said, he deserved a performance like this tonight.
Besides just, shots going down or not going down, just the lineups you guys have had to put out, of the way you guys have had to play without Tyrese and Miles the last couple games, what do you think's gone well and hasn't gone well, as far as just how you guys have functioned, how you guys have gelled together, just finding rhythms with new and different combinations? What do you think's gone well, and what do you think hasn't?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like our pace hasn't changed. I think we certainly missed Miles' rim protection, and obviously Tyrese is who he is. Guy is a walking double-double every night. When you miss two guys like that, Aaron was out for a while, and it's difficult. But we're not gonna make any excuses here. We've got to figure it out and try to find a win here and do it together as a team, because we're a connected group.
Last thing, obviously, it's not necessarily fun when you see this happen to your team, but the dunk from Ja, I guess, what was your reaction to that?
I mean, it was
See that play.
you know, when you play in this league a long time, you see some special things from special players. That was one of them. Really, no other way to put it. It was just a special play by a special player.
Chris, take us through kind of that injury. We saw you slam the chair, and then was that just the emotions of maybe more than just that, maybe of what you have been through the last 7 weeks or so?
It's frustration, you know. Every time, you know, this year, I don't know what it is, but every time I have it going, you know, every time I feel good, something happens, you know. And today, you know, I was out there doing good, and you know, the stuff happened. So it's just frustration, you know. But it's all about, you know, the learning process, you know. This is something new for me, so I'm still learning, you know. So learning with the frustration, learning how to control my emotion, you know. Yeah.
Did you turn to anything like watch old video of yourself or anything beyond like the work on the court that you're obviously doing at night?
What was that?
Did you like watch highlights with a coach or kind of see yourself when you were knocking down shots to maybe put you in a mental space when you remember seeing yourself making shots or anything like that?
I mean, coaches are always showing me films, you know, trying to motivate me, you know. You know, I do that too. I go home and watch myself. Some of the highlights from last year, you know, of me knocking down shots and just being out there, just playing my game. So, yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
And he's always watching his highlights from Oregon too.
Yeah. But you're not wrong with that. We beat it.
Yeah, I saw it.
We beat it.
And TJ, thanks. And then for you, TJ, just
You was there, Tony, right? When we talk about something, right? Okay. I got witness.
what do you feel personally about what you and I guess also Andrew now have to do in the short term to pick up your roles and kind of command that position at point guard?
Yeah, I mean, losing Ty is an all-star caliber type point guard. It's not easy, but like I said, we can't make excuses for ourselves. We kind of just got to go out there and run the show and hold down the fort until he gets back. And, you know, we shouldn't change the way we play. You know, we just need to lock in defensively and get out and run and be our best. Obviously, Ty does it at an extremely high level, so I think collectively, me and him just have to be on the same page and just help our guys get open shots and run the show.
Well, that may very well be the best team on the planet right now. And they're very hard to play. Our start wasn't great. We had to do some very good things in the second quarter, and then they made a run. Third quarter, you know, we played them decently for stretches. You know, it was basically just lost the quarter by 2. And then the fourth quarter, things got ugly. And then our group at the end did a great job of just continuing to fight. And I don't think we had a whole lot in the tank tonight. It's tough catching them on 2 days rest, you know, when we're coming off a game last night. But that's the world we're living in. And so we got to get ready for the next one. Going to Milwaukee. So, you know, another easy one.
Last night you were talking about the Hawks run in the third quarter. Today Memphis goes on a big second quarter run. What can you do to slow down runs before they get really long or prevent them from happening entirely?
Well, you can take timeouts. Another thing that helps is to take care of the ball. You know, the turnovers at times were a big problem, particularly at the beginning part of the game. So it's always going to be challenging. You know, 19 turnovers for 20 points. I mean, they had, I think, 26 points in transition at halftime, you know, and they have dynamic players, you know, Morant's, you know, I mean, it's hard to describe what he's doing right now. And, you know, they just have big physical guys and they attack. And so we play these guys again, I think, in a couple of weeks at their place. And, going into that game, we'll have a better idea of the task. And it won't be easy going in their building.
Without Tyrese and his ability to set guys up or throw guys open from deep, how much harder is it for you guys to generate the looks you want from long range?
Well, the irony is we had a lot of really good looks tonight that didn't go in. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe was just unlucky at times. Second night, we had multiple guys that played in the high 30s in minutes. And so this is just one of the facts of life in the NBA. So, hey, you got to do everything possible to get the looks you want. We got a lot of good looks. We got a lot that weren't great either. But the ones that were good, we needed to make. The majority of those, we didn't. And so, it's a tough game. But, I'm going to look at the positives. Like Chris Duarte's night tonight was significant. I mean, he's just been, you sit out for a month and a half, with an ankle. Coming back into it is not simple. You don't just step back in and start making shots, and he's stayed in the fight, and tonight, all that stuff, bore some fruit, in terms of, his rhythm and those kinds of things. So that was great to see. McConnell was, had nearly a triple double, and that group at the end showed that they stayed ready, like Terry Taylor did good things off the bench. I was in there this afternoon. He was in there early this afternoon working out and just keeping himself tuned up as best as he could. He did a good job. James did a good job coming off the bench. So, hey, we got to fight as hard as we can with the guys we have available. And this is a team that, the way they attack and the way they dunk the ball and all that kind of stuff can make it difficult. But, we hung in, and the group that finished the game did a good job.
Chris just said it. It felt good to see some go in. He felt like he kind of needed it. What have you kind of been telling him and trying to get him to maybe stay focused on or do in the stretch leading up to this game?
Things that wouldn't surprise you. Concentrate on defense. Concentrate on your compete level. All that stuff. Look, he's a great offensive player. I mean, he shoots the ball great. He's got a good feel for the game. He's gotten much better driving the ball. And so you saw all those things tonight, and it just doesn't happen overnight. So this was a good positive step in the right direction, but the work goes on, it never stops.
I guess to keep going on, Chris, I mean, how helpful can that be as you guys continue to be shorthanded as you go another, week and a half, 2 weeks, or however long it's going to be without Tyrese, to have at least another guy that you can get shots from?
Yeah, well, this is part of the opportunity that presents itself when you lose a top player, who's a guard. So essentially what happens is, Drew or TJ becomes the starter. We don't play 2-point guards at the same time. And so it kind of slots another spot at one of our wing positions. So there's minutes available, but we're very serious about holding guys accountable to playing the right way and defending. And I mean, you saw some guys get pulled tonight for mistakes and bad shots and stuff like that. We have to be steadfast about our commitment to playing Pacers basketball our way and the right way.
Just I guess through these 2 games of playing shorthanded, I mean, what's kind of just your overall evaluation have been as how these guys have gelled together as with all these new units, different combinations? How do you think they've done with it? What have you liked about what you've seen out there?
Yeah, I mean, look, except for some tough stretches tonight, the group is battling. They don't have great chemistry together because they haven't played a lot together. And so it's an ongoing work in progress. We got to keep working on it. But anything successful for us is going to start with defense and hard play and being unselfish on offense. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's really the truth. We were doing some really great things in the first quarter with our pace and our movement and getting shots. The thing that hurt us were 3 bad turnovers that led to problems at the other end, and And so we just got to work through these things. It's as simple as that. But there is an opportunity here, and we'll find the opportunity. And, our young bigs are getting a great chance to play. I mean, playing against Adams and Jackson tonight, I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot tougher than this, and a whole lot more challenging. So this is great experience. Hey, we go to Milwaukee. That's an afternoon game. That'll be here before you can say, boo. And so we'll have to be ready.
And last thing you mentioned John, you mentioned dunking. I guess that individual dunk he had over Jalen, I guess on the list of best dunks you've seen, where do you think that one went?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the business of rating the dunks of our opponents. That's he's a spectacular player. I don't know what else you could say about him. Some of the things he's doing this year have been at another higher level of everything. So hey, in 2 weeks, we'll have a little better idea of what we have to deal with. But these guys are rolling. There's a reason they've won 9 games in a row and are the top of the West. They're a freight train right now, and I don't know where they go next, but they're a load.
Your young bigs getting experience. Isaiah's had the chance to play extended minutes the past couple games with Miles out. He has had 11 blocks. What have you seen from him over the past couple games?
Well, his activity level is great. The block shots are great. It's just working through a lot of detail things with our young guys. We've got to get really solid with our base defense and our base offense. And so there's just teaching and coaching and working on things going on all the time. But we're seeing the things these guys are capable of. There were some minutes tonight where Isaiah and Jalen played together pretty effectively for 3 or 4 minutes here or there. Milwaukee plays big, and so we'll have to be ready for anything. I mean, I know Giannis sat out tonight. I don't know what his situation is going to be Monday, but the other thing is getting Aaron back tonight was great. Even though his rhythm wasn't quite there with his shooting, what he brings to the game with his high level of energy and hit first sort of presence out there is huge for us. So we'll dust up and get ready to go to Milwaukee tomorrow afternoon.
Sure, the reason why we're falling today, was a bad night for us, but just pretty much we just had to stay locked in and make the simple play.
This team has been good responding to adversity this year. You've lost 3 straight. What's been the key to overcoming it in the past, and what's the key here as you get set for a road trip?
Pretty much just we got to stay locked in. We're playing a game in less than 30 hours, so pretty much we got to be ready for the next game and taking the goods and applying the next game.
What do you feel like this group has learned from some of these road trips so far that you can apply to this 4-game stretch? Going away is not easy, but at the end of the day, we only have us. If one goes the wrong direction, we got to take him back. Pretty much, got to stay locked in and stay together.
They just hit hard every day. I mean, we knew it coming in, and we kind of folded with the punches. But I mean, they're one of the best teams in the NBA for a reason, and we didn't step up as we should have today. And I mean, that's all on us.
You got a couple minutes with Isaiah in this game. What do you think of that combo, and how do you feel like you guys executed together?
I think we did fine. Like you said, it was only a couple minutes, so it wasn't like a long stretch, so we wasn't ready to feel anything out of it. But I can't really tell you. It wasn't really much stuff to go off of.
Yesterday, you guys were talking about the Hawks 14-0 run in the third today. The second quarter was big for the Grizzlies. What can you guys do to either prevent runs or slow them down when they're actually happening?
I just got to guard, rebound, and stick to our defensive principles. And I feel as though that we'll be okay. Obviously, we let that slip today and dug us in a hole that we didn't want to be in. But, if we just listen to the coaches and lock in on the scouts, I feel as though we'll be fine.
How good was to see Chris get a shooting?
It was fun. I mean, we all know what Chris can do. You know, I mean, obviously Chris been dealt a tough hand this season, you know, with the injuries and things like that. But just to see him still have that confidence and just go out there and play basketball, it was fun. I mean, like I said, we all know what he can do, so it's no shock to us when Chris go for 30 or 25 every night.
I started this question. You obviously did everything right on the play, but the dunk by Ja, I mean, just what was that like, basically?
He just dunked on me. That's all it was. I mean, being a shot blocker, you're going to get dunked on once in a while. I mean, ain't no surprise. Ain't hurting me, you know.
Right,
Still
of
got my
course.
job, you know. I ain't fired just because I got dunked on.
Sure.
But, I mean, props to him. He got me, and on to the next thing.
I guess, were you surprised, though, that you got over you? I mean, just like as far back as he threw that thing and everything. I mean, like, it seemed like you were in position. You were like, how did he do that?
No, I mean, he's an athletic dunker. We know it. I mean, you're going to get caught once in a while. I mean, that was my once in a while. So, I mean, like I said, props to him. I ain't mad at him. You know,
Sure.
just basketball.
You guys have faced a lot of physical teams lately. Another physical team in Milwaukee and a lot of a big team on Monday. What challenge did they present?
You know, it's pretty much the same thing as the Grizzlies. You know, you got Giannis, you got Brook Lopez, Bobby Porter, Drew Holiday, all the guys, and pretty much they got a whole bunch of other guys that just play hard and just know their role. And I mean, obviously, it's very similar to Memphis, and we just gotta come ready for that game. Obviously, it's a division matchup, and it's gonna help us, you know, later on because this is a big test for us, another big test for us.
With Miles out, both you and Isaiah have had to play extra minutes. What have you seen from his growth over the past couple games?
I mean, Isaiah, you know, athletic freak, you know, dunking on everybody. That's just who he is. But I mean, like I said, it's no surprise to nobody on the team when somebody does something, you know. I mean, we all know what we all can do. We play with each other for a long while now, so we know our tendencies. And I mean, that's just who he is, you know. He a lob threat and shot blocker, you know. I mean, it's no surprise to us.